Today, we're going to pay off debt using the debt snowball method. Meet Pam. Pam has $13,000 of debt across 3 accounts. Pam lives in Houston, Texas. She makes $50,000 a year, and she's currently just making the minimum payments on each of those accounts and then trying to limit her spending. So we're going to use the debt snowball method to help Pam plan to get out of this debt. We're going to look at the numbers and we're going to see why it doesn't necessarily make mathematical sense, but why it makes sense for Pam specifically. And at the end of this video, you're going to see how the debt snowball method helps Pam to get out of debt and see exactly how long it's going to take her. All that's on here right now are Pam's paychecks coming in from her job at Initech and then her checking account building up over time. And with NFL season coming up, I need to point out that we have a new Honolulu blue skin for the Sheetkeeper app, if you're a Lions fan. So I've saved us some time here and I've plugged in all of Pam's fixed expenses. You can see those here. You can see the arrow on the left shows which accounts those fixed expenses are coming from. And you can see Pam's got discretionary expenses of $350 every paycheck. From left to right, you see the paychecks up here at the top of the screen, the exact dates that she'll get paid, the exact net amount that's going to land in her bank account, all the expenses that are going to come out. And here's Pam's debts. You can see the actual debt balances toward the bottom, and you can see the transfers to those debts here in the middle. Pam's got a medical debt at 0% APR of $800. She's got a credit card at 26% APR that started at $9,000. And she's got a store credit card of $3,200 at 16% APR. You can see after Pam's first paycheck on August 14th, she has $718 in checking, and then that slowly builds over time as you look from left to right here. Now, Pam's plan right now is to just keep making these minimum payments, and she'll keep that amount the same until those debts are paid off. And if she's disciplined, then extra money is going to build up in her checking account. So I'm going to scroll to the right. Today is August 14th, 2026, and we're going to see when these debts are paid off. Here's the first one, November 5th of 2027. You can see the medical debt gets paid off at the end of this pay period. So we get to November 19th, she gets to 0 there, and Pam has about $7,100 left on the credit card and $2,673 left on the store credit card. I scroll to the right again, and you can see, keeping up with this pattern, the credit card gets paid off December 13th of 2030. And then we get out here to a full 5 years out, and we're about to pay off the store credit card in 2031. And look at this. Pam has a lot of money in checking. Pam's got about $22,000 in checking at this point. Now, this makes a big assumption, and that's that Pam has been able to stick to $350 per pay period for all of her food, gas, and entertainment. And we know that that's not easy. At about $350 a pay period, we're talking about a tank of gas, a trip to the grocery store, and not much else. And she's had to do this for over 5 years to pay off the debt. And you may say, well, she has so much money in checking, she could have applied that toward the debt. And we'll do that. But here's the danger in Pam's system. I think we all know that if we have money sitting in an account, it's tempting to use it, especially when we're being so disciplined about only spending $350 a paycheck. Think about 5 years of time and all the temptations that'll come up to use that money on something else. So we're going to use the debt snowball method to make a plan that's going to attack these debts, starting with the smallest balance, then going to the next highest balance, and then the highest balance. And the reason we call it the snowball is that that's going to build momentum for Pam. She's going to get the little one paid off. She'll get excited about that. Then she goes after the next one. Then she goes after the next one. And that momentum helps to keep her on track and keep spending the amount that she should be for discretionary spending and not to use that extra money to go and do other things. So here's Pam's strategy with the snowball method. You can see the minimum payments are still coming out when they're due. And then Pam's going to do something interesting. Right here in December, money starts to spill over from Pam's checking account into savings. What she's done is said, when I get to $2,000 in checking, I want anything extra to start building an emergency fund in savings. So you can see her savings balance starts to climb. It's $315 here, goes up to $394, and as money spills over, that gets up to $1,000 in April of 2027. Then what happens next is Pam starts to spill more money over. She says anything above $1,000 in savings, now that I have my emergency reserve set aside, is going to go to the debts. That starts to spill over here. $133 goes to the debts. Now, which one does it go to first? Here's what we call Pam's debt payoff waterfall. When savings reaches $1,000, The debts are going to be paid off in this order, and we've sorted it by balance. The medical debt, the smallest one coming first, then the store credit card, then the big credit card. Now, if we did the math on this, it would tell us to go after the 26% interest rate credit card first. And yes, mathematically that makes sense. But I think we all know that we don't make decisions based on math. We make decisions based on emotion and our impulses and what we want to buy at the time and what sounds fun. And it's very difficult for us to think about our future selves when we have temptation in front of us. It's actually called hyperbolic discounting, and it's our tendency to weight current decisions more than future decisions. We tend to want to buy the things that are right in front of us without thinking about how that impacts us in the future. And what we're doing with the snowball method is to try and take out the smallest debt first to gain momentum, to have that snowball like it's rolling down a hill, build that momentum, and then pay off more and more debt. So with the snowball method, you can see here that Pam's excess is going to go straight toward the medical debt. And that's going to be paid off right here in June of 2027. Then immediately, that excess starts to go toward the next highest balance, which is the store credit card. And that one's going to get paid down quickly now. All the excess goes to that store credit card. And you can see here, in December 2027, the balance is $725.93, and all that excess gets applied, and it gets paid off 2 pay periods later, December 2027. And now that snowball is going to keep rolling, and you're going to see all the excess from savings spill over toward the biggest debt. And here, February 9th of 2029, they're all paid off. And at that point, all of the money keeps collecting in the savings account. And you can see here in Pam's net worth chart what it looks like. She starts off at $13,000 underwater, and then you can see she pays off these cards, and her net worth continues to climb until she reaches $22,000 in August 2031. So being straight with you, mathematically, it makes sense to pay off the highest interest rate balance first. That's the one that's going to cost you the most. But as human beings, the biggest thing we should fear is our own impulse and desire to spend later on. And anyone that's had debt, and believe me, I've had plenty in my life, knows that you can get to a point where you just think, it's not worth it. This debt is so insurmountable that I'm just going to spend today because this thing's going to be there forever anyway. I'm so far in debt that I may as well just go do what I want to do. And the snowball has that effect of making you feel like I'm making progress towards something. This first little debt is gone, and now I'm going to attack the next one. And the idea is that sense of progress and not just staring at the big debt and watching it go down little by little over time gives you enough momentum to actually get this debt off of your books. The wins are what keep you going. And if you're not perfectly disciplined, and most of us aren't, finishing beats optimizing. There's actually a study from the Journal of Marketing Research in 2012 that shows that people who pay off accounts and close those accounts are more likely to finish paying off all their debt. So is the debt snowball right for you? It might be. What I'd encourage you to do is model it out just like we did today for Pam. Decide what's most motivating to you and what will keep you on track to pay off that debt. And look at the numbers. If you can see your financial future clearly, you're more likely to make better decisions in the present. If you like scenarios like this, I've got plenty more. So subscribe to the channel and you'll get one new one every week. If there's one you want me to work out on video, drop it in the comments and I'll do the math in a future episode. And if you want a spreadsheet that looks just like this one, I'll leave you a link so that you can download a template and make a version of this that's very simple in Google Sheets that you can keep forever. If you like the app that you saw today, you'll also get put on a waiting list so I can email you when the app goes live and you can plug in all the numbers just like we did today into the system and easily see your financial future at any point. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.